Hey guys, hope all is well. Releasing the episode a day late, and the reason being is we just returned from our Masters weekend and a baby shower weekend. So it was a big weekend for fun and family. I am donning my green hat as we speak for those of you who can see me. But we're doing a follow up this week to Adaptive Golf with David. And we really were pondering, especially since we had Masters Week going on at the same time, why would you take on a stressful game to try to get yourself relaxed? And we believe we cracked the code. It's not about golf being relaxing. It's actually when you're playing golf, it's stressful. So what you're doing is you're actually substituting something that's stressful for 4 hours and leaving all the other stuff off the course behind. It gives you something to focus on. We'll talk more about it. Here we go. Uh, I wanted to talk about a little more about why golf is good for your health, because David was able to kind of talk to us about situations and circumstances where people are having to go through tremendous obstacles just to even play golf, and they're
Yes.
doing it because they want to get out there. So what that made me think about is like, man, I've created blocks sometimes along the road on like I'd be too scared to almost go out to a golf course sometimes, only because I'd be like, I don't know, just mentally strained, like really tight, if you will. Like just my whole life felt really tight, and I'd almost get like intimidated, like I don't want to go out there and look stupid, or I don't want to go out there and like, you know, run
Yeah.
into someone that I don't like or something like that. But
All the things you can't control, you start worrying about.
exactly. Exactly. And when David talked about these people who have this confidence that regardless of either physical or mental ailments, they're going out there and doing it anyways, you know?
Yeah.
And I think
So then
that's
you had to go
really
like, what's your excuse?
exactly. So it's like it was really inspirational to me because I still struggle with that sometimes. If I'm going to go play golf by myself, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
who am I going to run into? Am I going to end up joining a party of someone?
All
I'd
the
rather play
unknown,
alone.
all
Yep,
the
all of
potential
the
unknowns that are a little anxiety rising. And then
exactly.
what do? Your anxiety starts to rise up because you're thinking about something that hasn't even happened yet.
I know.
Think about how you're giving that much power to something else.
I know.
You're giving fear that much power. But we all do it. I mean, I'm guilty too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting on I'm not sitting from any perched spots or anything like that. I agree. Like if I wanted to go play by myself, even by myself at Tower T over here next to me, I still kind of go, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. Everybody's getting out of school, off work. It's gonna be too busy. I don't want it. I don't want
Right.
to mess with
Me
it.
too. Me too. I
But I
work
read
on
something. I
golf
just read
courses.
something today. It was so apropos. It's so serendipitous. It's perfect. Perfect timing. I just read something that said embarrassment is the price of entry. If you're not willing to look like a foolish beginner, you're never going to be a gracious expert.
That's good stuff.
So F off with that anxiety stuff. Put it in God's hands. You want to get outside. It is good for you because you get fresh air, you get sunlight, you're walking
Exactly.
around in nature.
I came up with a whole list of things that is
Good. I don't want to
good
see your thunder. If you got a list, go for the list.
about golf. So it's you're right on it. You're right on it. So I'm basically going to go through it. Now I'm not going to act like I came up with these on my own. These are, I got them from
Yeah, but you put some time into it. Here I am just going off the cuff and
no, 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 no. I was just thinking about it. You know what I mean? And like to me,
yeah,
sometimes I need to hear a list. Yeah, sure. Golf is great for you. It's not great for me. Have fun doing it. I do my own thing. I'm fine where I'm
sure.
at. And that's where I was for a long time. I'm like, you can do whatever you want. Have fun. Good for you. I'm more comfortable in my basement right now. Thank you so much. Right?
Yeah.
Uh, what it came up with, or what I was able to find, was a long list of things, and I'm sure there's many more, but I'm just going to kind of go through it. Golf is good for your mental and physical health because it involves stress management. Golf requires focus and concentration, which can help distract from daily stressors and promote relaxation. So that's really like kind of funny to me because I was always wondering, how is golf relieving me of stress when golf is stressful? And now I'm
A
realizing
different
that
kind.
it pulls me into another challenge. It pulls me into another focus. And although that may be challenging, it's something tangible. I can put my hands on it. I can quantify it almost like how am I doing, like with my game and like and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. So it's like you're basically substituting. You're like, I'm gonna set aside all this stuff that I worry about all day because I have to focus on this small little rock
that's a
that I got
great
to
point.
pick.
That's
You
a
know what I
great
mean?
point. It really is. Yeah,
Blew my mind.
because it can be frustrating, but it's a different kind of frustrating, and it takes you off of the other frustrations. And maybe it's not quite as important as the life-altering decisions that you were worried about before, whatever it was,
Right.
finances or career or love life, family life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's not as important. It's not there's no real skin in the game. You're just there to enjoy yourself. So even though it's frustrating, it's yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
like that.
you have to focus on it. You know, you actually have to pay attention. And sometimes you got to listen to people and you got to like, okay, fine. I'm hitting a slice every time. What do you got for me? You
Yeah,
know, cracking the door a little bit to more info, and then you start implementing it, and your game starts getting better. So you're like, this is really cool. Like I'm learning along the way.
yeah,
Yeah, and I thought that was like a huge point. You're basically, it's not that golf is stressful. It's you're taking the things that you're usually stressed about, setting them aside because you have to focus on this little rock that you're hitting with a stick. And that's all it
yeah,
is. You're walking through
yeah.
a park and hitting a rock with a stick. That's what the original game of golf is. Okay. So
Love
it
it.
also leads to improved sleep. So physical activities such as golf can
Yeah,
enhance sleep quality, either leading to better mood or mental well-being. I don't know if you know it, but there's a course called Riverside in St. Louis.
yeah.
It's in Fenton. It's not like an expensive course, but the cool thing about that course is it's really, really flat. And I don't know if you know this, but my dad was told that a lot of people post like heart issues, like say a surgery, a recovery, or something like that. They're encouraged to go out to that course and play golf because it's not about the golf. It's about the walk, you
Yeah,
know, just kind of taking that walk, taking little breaks, hit the rock with the stick, and then you
yeah.
kind of get your momentum going that way. Golf also helps with resilience. Golf challenges players to overcome obstacles and setbacks, fostering resilience and adaptability. And that showed up in my life. I was kind of like, if I'm not, I was at an extreme for a long time,
Yeah,
but I kind of was like, I got to be good at something. I got to find something that I can like put effort into and start getting better at because it felt like I was just failing at everything else, you know?
right.
So it gave me something to kind of
Golf gave you the little tools for your toolbox to help you deal with other issues in your real life.
bingo, bingo.
Boom. There's your tagline.
And we talked about it last time, but really, for a long time, the big success was when I was getting in my car after the round and I had realized what I had accomplished,
Yeah,
which
it
wasn't,
felt good.
it felt good to me. It doesn't have to mean a lot to anyone else. If it feels good to you and you get that sense of accomplishment, and I got to walk back in my house and be like, I did something today. I know that might seem small to a lot of people out there, but to someone who's like basically hiding in a foxhole all the time, just
Yeah,
getting out of that foxhole is a big deal and it's an accomplishment. And
it's
we feel,
moving the little rock.
yeah,
It's starting the process. You're moving something. You're doing your sock drawer to start cleaning your room. You're making the first step.
man, my sock drawer is a mess.
Oh, no, that's that analogy or whatever.
No,
You
I know.
got to get start. You just start somewhere. Start with one something.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I love golf too. And I just saw another post that reminded me of something that have you ever had a game yet where you didn't lose a ball all 18 holes? Play with
Once,
one ball all 18 holes.
once I've done it
Yeah,
right through.
very few times, right?
And guess what it turned into? It turned into my best round ever. It was a 74. I got the ball over here somewhere. Anyways,
Oh,
it was the
nice.
first time I didn't lose a ball. And it was my primary focus the entire day. It's
Yeah,
like, I'm not losing this ball, so I'm not going to hit stupid shots. And it
right.
turned it like I shot a 74
Isn't
with,
that crazy?
oh, it was insane. It was like, have you ever played golf? And sometimes you can be so focused on being perfect and then you end up, I was like really focused and like really getting good scores for a while, and then I went out and played with a couple guys and they're like, let's play the animal game. I think I've played it with you before,
Yeah.
where instead of focusing on your score, you're like, okay, if you hit a tree, you get the monkey. If you hit the path, you get a kangaroo. If you hit it in the sand, you get the camel, and if you hit it in the water, you get a frog. And when you And when you like get the frog, or if you get one of those things at the end of the round, say you and I were playing and I had all four, maybe I owe you $4 or however you
Yeah.
quantify it, or Diet Coke at the end of the round or something like that. But it's a cool way to play sometimes just to make it smaller and less intimidating.
Yeah.
I also play with my wife a lot, and the way we play is a scramble. And that makes it really fun for both of us because
You're gonna
there's
sit
not
in the
as much.
same spot more. You're talking
Yeah,
more. You're yeah, I get it.
it's just, we're rolling together. We basically move into the cart. We've got our drinks, we've got our music, we're like doing our thing. Kate's really good at like making, she's my comfort. You know what I mean? Like she's really good.
Decorator or something, or
She,
just getting
well,
everything
she,
ready for. Okay, I gotcha.
well, she gets everything ready, but it's also like with her attitude. Like nothing's going to get in Kate's way. You know what I mean? Like it's like no one's going to ruin her day. And she's going to make sure that no one ruins your day either because she won't let it happen. She'll be like, "What are you doing? Why do you look sad? What are we doing? We're playing golf, right? We're supposed to be having fun, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, yes. I get it. I get it. Get it." So she's kind of like for a while was able to keep me in the sense of this should be fun. Why are you getting serious?
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? As funny as this sounds, I think I'm trying to impress you. And then Kate feels the same way too. And then by the fifth or the sixth hole, we've kind of given up on the idea of looking silly or not. Looking silly is actually part of the game, and
Yeah.
and we just have a good time after that. And the way
The price of
Scramble
admission.
Yeah, and the way a scramble listening is like, Kate plays from the red tees, I play from the blue tees, and I'll hit my drive. Half the time it will go in the woods. I'm like half the time
Yeah.
it goes in the woods. So we end up using her shots half the time, and we're just playing off one another. And the way it works is you both hit a ball and then you pick the best ball you want to play, and then you both hit from that place. So it kind of speeds up play a little bit for you. So you're not
Yeah.
as worried about like moving your particular ball. You can, be with someone who maybe is better at driving or maybe better at one thing while you're better at another, and it kind of evens everything out. So it's a good time to anyone out there who's still trying to crack the door on golf. That's a good way to get out there and just have a little fun. The other way is just go to the range. Go to the range. Don't even tell anybody. Like, just go.
Yeah. It's great to work on your swings at the range just to get something going. I like that too.
Yeah,
I mean, walking the course is always a little bit more fun. I mean, that's the whole package. You get the
true.
whole experience.
For sure. For sure. And you realize it's not about the golf,
Yeah.
it's about getting out there.
Yeah, like even the par three over there at the driving range. It's still a walking course. It's smaller, but
What's it called? Let's get a plug in for that course because it was a
Tower
big
T. And
tower.
they are a sponsor of the PGA Hope program. They have a course there. They focus primarily just on like brand new beginners. So they didn't have a spot for me as an intermediate player to
Right.
to go there. So that's why I ended up going to Scott Air Force Base last year. And this year I'm playing in Wentzville with a league on Tuesdays. It's going to be a league
That's
through the
awesome.
PGA Hill program too. But yeah, Tower T is a sponsor for them, so they are part of the PGA Hill program under the VA and all that stuff, helping veterans but other than that, it's they have kids there after school for high school
Exactly.
teams are playing there and practicing there,
And
all walks of life.
I grew up relatively close to that course, and it's been around for a long time. Now it just went through a huge renovation, and everything is
Yeah,
like top tier. I mean, it looks amazing. It's a
yeah.
whole
They
nother look.
changed the course out a little bit too.
Yeah.
Added a couple holes and stuff like that. So now it's like full 9 holes instead of I think it was only six before something. I
No,
don't remember.
it was
Was it
actually
9?
18, but
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
the second nine was down by where that TV station is at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that
because one
TV
of those holes is incorporated, but it's just like has got a big drop down. Have you played it lately?
Yeah, yeah, we played. Yeah, so I know what you're talking about, that one hole that drops
Yeah.
off on the left side, but
You can't even see the green.
yeah, there's a whole nother area that contained a whole nother nine at the base of like if you were driving down the street towards
Okay.
the bottom, like right when you get to almost like your intersection, if you look to the right, there's kind of like that area down there.
Yeah.
There's property behind that they cleared out, and they had a bunch of holes on that side. But
Okay.
anyways,
Is that where they're building houses now? Some of it.
they might be closer to the railroad tracks. So like down the hill that way. But the course was always cool. It wasn't always well maintained. And it looks like what they've done is they've just gone full into quality, put
Yeah,
in 9 great holes, great
yeah.
greens, great tee shots. What's that other game they play out there? And I don't want to forget it because some people might think
Oh, they
that's
have the
working
soccer balls.
the soccer ball. So you can actually
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
some courses nowadays, and they've implemented almost these huge cups. And
Hmm.
instead of playing with a golf ball, you play with a soccer ball by kicking it.
Yeah.
And I think
The
it's
soccer
how,
ball holes are right next to the greens on each hole. So like you come from the same tee box. I did it with my nephew, my 4-year-old nephew. I took him out there. I was hitting the golf balls and he was kicking the soccer balls.
yeah,
And you just kick it towards the hole.
what a great
And
way to get into the game.
yeah,
And not only for a kid, but for like an adult. You know what I would do? Actually, if I'm gonna be honest, I would probably go grab up my nephew really quick and be like, guess what we're gonna go play.
yeah, yeah,
And it would be really like I want to play.
yeah. But it gives him something to do because he was trying to hit the golf balls too, trying to use the club. So now it's like I'm gonna try to find an old set and cut him down for him or something, get him a couple of clubs just to see if he
Yeah.
takes a shine to it or whatever.
Yeah.
But just to be out there and walk around in nature and kick the soccer ball. He loves kicking the soccer ball, so it was right up his alley right now anyway.
Yeah. And it's so
And you see other
important.
people do that. It's so yeah. I mean, it just joins two different passions and two different angles. And I don't know. It increases the spread, increases the net of enjoyment.
Absolutely. And you know what happens when you're outside is you're exposed to sunlight. And it turns out sunlight is very good for you for vitamin D
Yeah,
absorption. Spending time outdoors on the golf course exposes players to sunlight, which helps produce vitamin D, essential for mental health. This is true. Some people even sit in front of
I
screens. There's
have
like
a vitamin D deficiency. I have a vitamin D vitamin I take every day to help with my vitamin D deficiency, and
me
it's
too.
probably part of the depressions and stuff like that too, because you're so low on vitamin D. But yeah, get out there in the sun and you feel better when you're out in the sun. It's just a good mental health, well being kind of. I feel better about life kind of
You can almost
vitamin.
remember it from being a little kid. You and I grew up when kids basically, as soon as you woke up, it was like during the summer, you're outdoors all day, every day,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and you'd spend those first couple hours sort of kind of waking up, and then the sun would hit you and you'd kind of come to life, and then you'd be out there, get sunburned, whatever it is, spend your whole day out there, come back home,
yeah.
be exhausted from it.
Or
And
just
then,
running around with the neighbor kids or on bicycles or whatever. Yeah, you spend the whole day
exactly,
outside. It's
in the
like
free,
don't come back till it's dark almost. It was kind of that attitude. Can you imagine that people had that attitude now though? It'd be so weird. This is how much we've changed that much, or is just I don't know.
I guess, yeah, things have changed. There's a lot of fear. I mean, to take a quick tangent here, I had a little bit of culture shock when I moved down to Atlanta because you notice every morning when you're going to work, there's parents standing at the bus stops with their kids. And in St. Louis, I don't really, I mean, I'm sure there was some there, but it wasn't really, there's a huge concentration on stopping child abduction. And unfortunately, that happens in Atlanta, and children have been picked up at bus
Oh
stops
wow.
taken. So parents are usually there getting their parents on the bus or getting their children on the bus, and they're usually there getting their children off the bus. So that's a sad thing, an unfortunate thing. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we lived in a whole nother world, and I feel very blessed for it.
Yeah. The only
Uh,
video game I had when I was a kid was Pong.
I wasn't allowed to have video games. I
Yeah.
never had a system. My
That's
mom's a,
probably smart.
I don't know. I play at my friends' houses. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. You still find
and,
a way.
and then eventually, as a grown adult, I bought a system.
Yeah. I do too. I play a lot actually. A lot more than I
Yeah,
probably should.
you and I used to play on PS3 after shift.
Oh,
You'd be at your
wow.
house, I'd be at my house, and we'd be playing Call of Duty,
Oh wow. Yeah. Probably.
doing a little unwinding at like 4 in the morning because
Yeah.
our shift would get done at 3. All right, so back to golf. Back to golf. So I was talking about it before. There's with golf, you can get a sense of achievement. Whether that's because you got out of your house, out of your foxhole, and you got into kind of the world, whether it's because you got some sunlight that day, whether it's because you got better at your game, whether it's your first time, your middle time, your second time, whatever it is, it's always good, to get something done. And if golf's doing that for you, keep doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you're
And if
getting
it's
that
not
sense,
golf, it could be tennis. It could be
It could be
Go
anything.
kick
It
the
could be
soccer ball
fishing.
around at the thing. Go fishing. Go, yeah,
Yeah. Lots of guys use fishing. And again, that's a sport, but a time where you can like kind of spend time alone.
yeah. And you can go through other little tools for your toolbox that going through problem struggles and stuff like that with how
Yeah.
you're gonna, you know, hunt that fish, where you're gonna drop anchor, where you're gonna drop your line, what kind of bait you're gonna use, what kind of. I'm not much of a fisherman, but I know a little bit about it. I used to, but
I've got fishing stuff. I like fishing. I'm just impatient, which is not good as a fisherman. And I'm convinced that if I had a boat, I'd catch more fish instead of just sitting on the edge. Anyways, I'm still working on my game. We did go fishing at Lake Allatoona close to here, and we got a guide one morning. The lake's like 20 minutes away, and we ended up catching like 30, 40 fish. Just
oh wow,
he put out like 6 lines and then baited them all. And as soon as one would hit, you would just go grab the line, pull it in. He would sort it, drop it back in. He'd be like casting over here for a catfish. He'd be casting over here for,
he had a whole system.
yeah, a whole system. And I thought, this is funny and how we get tangents, but I thought when you go fishing in the morning, you're supposed to be quiet, like, shh,
Yeah. No,
we're
that's just
trying
something
to,
our dads probably told us to make us shut up because we were probably
I
the
know.
loudmouth chatterboxes.
Our guide is taking a poll. Exactly. That is so true. They're like,
You're gonna wake the fish. Be quiet. They just wanted us to shut up.
exactly, because I found out that noise is good. The guy's actually hitting the bottom of the boat with a pole. It's like boom, boom, boom. And then I'm like, aren't we supposed to be quiet? He's like, no, I'm waking him up. He's like, they're all on the bottom. Like, I'm waking him up. I'm like, really? And it worked. We caught a lot of fish.
Uh,
So whether it's fishing or golf, it does reduce depression. Physical activity combined with the calming effects of nature can help reduce symptoms and depression and improve overall mood. Another good thing about golf when you're ready for it, and this took me a bit, with social interaction. Golf is often played with other players, providing opportunities for social connection and support, which are crucial for mental health. And what's interesting about golf is you could go out as a single, and let's say the course is busy that day, or yeah, whether you get assigned to be with those three or you just kind of merge in the middle of the round because the course is running slow. It it forces you to have basic conversation with people you don't know. And for me, for a long time, I was totally closed off to the world. I was like, I'll live in my corner. Everyone, you do whatever you want. Just leave me alone, right? I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. But by having these, and I thought everyone was an asshole too. Like I was totally toxic. I thought people were assholes. I didn't want them. I just knew I needed to get better. I didn't understand why I was still here, but I was figuring it out. And what's really weird is you end up having these quick conversations. And this reminds me actually of a key moment. I had a day one time where I knew I had to get out of the house. I was getting sober. I was kind of going through a lot of stress, a lot of pain. I was in St. Louis at the time, and there's a lot of courses west of St. Louis. And I had found a course that was about an hour, hour and a half out, and I drove all the way out there. But right when I pulled in the parking lot, it started raining. And I was like, shit. I was like, I really want to play golf today. Like, it almost seemed necessary. Like,
yeah.
I was almost panicking to play. So I looked at the radar and I saw that north of St. Louis, there wasn't any weather. So I drove another hour and a half to get to that other course. Like, again, I was like, I got to get out there. You know what I mean? I'm like,
It became like a treatment for you then.
it became a treatment. And then, so I'm playing as a single. Course gets slow, and I'm on a par three, and three men are standing on the thing. And they're like, hey, course is running slow. Why don't you join in with me? I don't want to. And I'm like, okay. So they start chit chatting. Turns out I'm talking to, well, I introduced myself. I was pretty afraid at the time. So a lot of times I would just dump my story on someone. I'd be like, yeah, I was a police officer. I got shot. Because I was still trying to understand it. Like I was still processing even getting shot, getting let go, what's happened. And it turns out after I told my story to him, I'm talking to two retired St. Louis County police officers. And I'm talking to one retired St. Louis County teacher.
Well,
And I didn't realize that I had just done that. And what they did is they reached out to a colleague who was teaching classes at St. Louis County Academy regarding PTSD. And we got in contact And because of that day, I was able to do my first presentation at St. Louis County the day that you guys were there. That was my
Yeah.
first presentation about PTSD and being injured in the line of duty. I'm sure I came in very hot, because I was talking to a lot of people. It was my first time. I was kind of getting the story out there, but it was a way for like me to kind of like turn it into something positive and turn it into something that other people could learn from. That way, I don't know, it just did something for me. Like it wasn't a waste. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't a complete
It
failure that,
it gave it a purpose. It gave you a purpose about
yeah,
your situation, what you went through, and how you could help somebody else.
yeah.
It just, yeah, your identity was like restored a little bit.
Yeah. And so like that's so weird that that day I ran into those guys
Yeah.
and I had and then it's like
It's
in
almost like
those
a sign like
moments you're
somebody
like
didn't want you to go through this.
you're like what just happened? You know what I mean? Because it's above and beyond. I couldn't put it together what had just happened. Like the timing of that was absolutely perfect. And it turned into something
And
so
so
amazing,
random because of the rain and the drive.
so random. And then it turned into something. Now, that wasn't my first time talking to people, but that was the thing that maybe really, we'll say, like cracked the egg or cracked the seal, where I was like, maybe I'm actually exactly where I'm supposed to be. And God has me standing right there. And maybe the things I went through, although they hurt me, are meant for good. And I'm supposed to share them and not actually understand how that may show up in that other person's life. I'm not trying to convince anybody. It's just saying my testimony about what happened and the light and the warmth and how the pain went away finally. And then I came back to earth and like all that kind of stuff. Like I've shared that story. And because of that day, I've shared it more. And I've had grown men
Good. You're
cry
like
on.
leaning into it.
Yeah, and random people here in Atlanta. I was doing a delivery service for a while, and I was dropping off at this restaurant because we dropped off like paper supplies, to go containers, napkins, paper towels, whatever it may be. I was working for this company again, trying to get on my feet, and this guy who's a maintenance guy for the property kind of looked down, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Nothing." I was like, "No, hey, what's going on?" And he told me that he had just lost his wife. He goes, "I just lost my wife after battling cancer for a long time. I got this job in particular to get her through it. And now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do." What do you say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you say?
So,
And so,
sorry I asked.
no. And
No,
so,
I'm just kidding.
and
You know that.
so in that moment, I said, "May I share something with you?"
Okay.
And he said, "Sure." And I said, "I'm a former police officer. I was injured in the line of duty. I was shot. I went home, PTSD affected me, and then I ended up back in the hospital a year later. I wasn't doing good things in that interim between. I ended up in a coma, and I had a moment where I was in complete darkness. I couldn't see anything. I was in a tremendous amount of pain, and I called out, 'Jesus, please forgive me of my sins.' And at that moment, there was a pinprick of light. It got bigger, or I got closer to it. I'm not sure. And the pain went away. And I stood there and I was holding my grandma's hand in heaven. I saw a brick road ahead of me, gold bricks. I looked to my left. It was gray. I looked behind me. It was dark, but I could see people floating in the darkness. And I asked my grandma why it is they're so close and they don't know we're right here. And that's right when I woke up to my wife slapping me in the face, who's teaching me how to breathe for the next 8 hours. And this dude just hugged me and he goes, "I needed to hear that today. I needed that. Thank you." And I go, "I hope," and every time I do it, I'm like, "I hope I didn't overshare. I don't mean to, I mean, I just hope if it could help you in any way, like I just want to share it." And
Yeah.
that's
Sure. You're
happened.
giving him hope.
It's happened a
You're
bunch.
renewing his hope.
Yeah, it's happened a bunch of times. So that kind of inspired me. Like life isn't about like huge achievements and being recognized by everybody. It's like the true equity is like helping and like sitting with an individual when he's down. And not that I did this with this individual, but I'm saying like humbling yourself and knowing that everyone's going through pain and like everyone's going through something and you may be a source of hope. Although the devil may tap on your shoulder and say, "You're nobody to help that person," or "How could you help that person," or something like that. But if you come through with true what is it? What am I trying to say?
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling kind of verklempt right now. I'm trying
Fully
after your story.
authentic. Yeah, so like if you're being fully
Authenticity.
authentic, even if it were to like upset that person, be like, what do you know about God? Where was God? But they may still go home and think about it. And that may have been, I now believe it is absolutely done on purpose. We're put in places, we're put in times where we could extend an olive branch or hope to somebody. And sometimes we don't do it. I think a lot of the times we don't do it. And I don't know if that's because we hope we're not being taken advantage of or like all these things, but it's like
Yeah, I don't know.
when it comes down to it, it's like when I told that guy that story and he cried on my shoulders, two strangers hugging one another in the middle of a day. You know what I mean? That's insane. That's God. That is God right there. And it's like you're not doing anything. He organized the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're just like spouting some
Well,
words
you're
of,
just a puppet.
yeah,
Well, that's why we're
exactly.
here.
You're the glove.
We're yeah, the glove one. We haven't shared that one yet, have we?
No, we did. I thought we did.
We
You know,
talked about it some, but I don't know
I,
if we shared it.
I've seriously have been like contemplating that a lot, and it means so much.
Yeah.
The idea of like a
Well, in case
glove
we
is,
hadn't shared it, yeah, the glove. Okay, a glove is made in the form of a hand, in the image
yeah,
of a hand, and without a hand in it, it's still a glove, but it doesn't do anything. It just
right.
lays there. It has to have the hand inside of it, and we were made in God's image. So we need to have God in us so we can be active. If without God in us, we're just a useless glove sitting there. We're still there. We're just not being used to our full potential. We're not being used for what we were made to be, and that was to be filled with God's love, so we can be acting in His interests and with His directions to help people in those situations and circumstances. When you get put in those situations and circumstances, you'll feel the Holy Spirit in your heart tell you to say things, and you'll say them. They'll come out, and you'll feel the goosebumps. They'll feel the goosebumps. You'll have smiles. You'll have hugs. You'll have hope in your faith and love and all those good feelings, and you'll feel them, and it changes you, and it's
Hmm.
a good change.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all just
This is a moment.
we're all just
Like
just meat puppets.
we're supposed to be talking about golf, right? We're talking about golf. And I hope everyone out there understands that, like, the way we are talking about faith and like God showing up, we're not preaching, we're surprised. It's like not what I even wanted. Like, I wanted to be able to sort my own life out on my own, not be dependent on anything or anything like that. And the only way I got better was by doing the thing I absolutely resisted. And then and I put a lot of stuff in between me and that situation. I didn't want to go towards faith. Like, that's not where I wanted to go, but it ended up being the only thing that helped me. And it just shows shocking that you and I are now talking. We weren't talking about God in the car.
No,
We did not talk about God in the car. Okay. We talked about all kinds of fun stuff, but we were not talking to one another about, like, are we good with God? And for us to be coming full circle and coming back around, and we've been through some shit, and the shit actually brought us back to God. What? So that means the shit was on purpose. It was meant
right.
to save us. We actually prayed at one moment. I know I did. God, I don't know what I'm doing. Please save me. And then my life basically went to shit. And it turns out that my life needed to be basically chopped down in a way. Whoever I was
Broke
at
down
that
to build you
moment.
back up. Basic
Yeah,
training kind of thought things.
exactly. So I wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be the person that I was then. I'm meant to be the person, or I will be the person that I will be. But you have to grow in that meantime. You can't just kind of sit and be like, I'm perfect the way I am, but be sad or miserable in some places and just say to yourself, well, I guess that's the way it is. I don't know. Long story short, it's just
No,
crazy that we're
you're onto something there, and it coincides with another thing that I saw today. By the way, here I'm just stealing things from the internet, passing it off as my ideas.
there we go.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to just say, wow, it's just amazing. I just saw something about this, and now we're talking about something related to it. Everything we have for our own happiness is already in us. It really is. If you think about it, you don't the feeling you would get after buying a brand new car, it's already in you. You don't, and once you realize it and really get to catch that feeling and understand this concept, You don't have to buy the car to get the feeling.
Yeah.
It's already there. It's already in us. Everything you're searching for is already here.
And it's such a
But
tricky
we
world.
feel like we have. It's well, we've been tricked. We've been deceived by a great deceiver. That our job on this earth is to go out and buy things and acquire things and titles and jobs and girls and whatever.
Hmm.
All the feelings that you're looking for are already there. You don't have to buy the new car. You don't have to have the perfect job. You don't have to have the job title. You don't have to have, lots of dating experiences. Whatever the things are,
Yeah.
it's already there.
It's so
Get
funny
out,
that,
get
like,
like here for a second. Listen to
yeah,
this in here for a second, and it's there. And once you get to that point, I'm telling you, what you want to talk about peace and freedom. You people joke stuff like, will joke and say like, I don't care what you think about. You do a little bit, and that's okay. I do still a little bit too, but I'm in this whole different awareness right now that it doesn't affect me like it used to, and that is so free.
yeah. And what's I find myself fickle because like I'll feel it. I'll like be right there. And then the next day I'll do something that's totally like opposite. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
we're still human. I mean, shoot, we're still gonna trip. We're still gonna stumble. I mean, that we're not made to be perfect. Get over
yeah,
yourself. Catch yourself in the mistake or after the mistake, and figure out how to forgive yourself for it and move on.
yeah. I guess it's like golf.
And then stop
Everyone
doing it. Yeah, it is.
everyone wants that perfect game, but the truth is there's no picture next to the score. It doesn't matter how that ball got there, whether you hit it and it ran the ground the entire time. If it goes in the hole in three on a par three, it's a par.
Yeah, you use your putter 3 times to get there and be fine.
Yeah, golf's not
Look
perfect.
pretty.
Life's
But
not
yeah,
perfect.
like I said before with David last week, my goal is always just 4 shots: one good drive, one good long iron, one good short iron, one good putt. I have 18 holes to make those 4 good shots to make me feel like I had a successful day. Those are the bare minimum requirements for me to have a good day of golf, right? Well, it's not going to be the first one probably because you got to warm up a little bit. Your nerves get in the way. Maybe you haven't played the course before or in a while, or the weather, or something comes into play, and you just have to deal with all those variables every step of the way. You have to
Yeah.
deal with all those adversities every step of the way. This is why it's like life. This is why it teaches you the little tools for your toolbox, how you can get through bigger shit when you get back home, back at work, back in life.
Yeah.
You got to shake off the bad shot. Oh, I ended up in the sand trap. Okay, well that stinks. Let's get over it. How do I get out of the sand trap? All right, well I got this club. I know how to swing it. Let me practice it a couple times. Let me get ready for it. And then, you know what I'm saying? That you use those same skills to cope with real shit.
And then eventually when you hit it in the sand trap, like when Kate and I do it now when we're scrambling, we literally say we love the beach. We love the
Yeah.
beach.
See, that positive attitude right there just changes everything.
We love the beach.
It puts your mind in the right place too. Go in there and hit the next shot too.
And it's so funny. You can be out there and like something will happen. And all right, so
And
two
you're having a
weekends.
good, peaceful time with your wife there. That's bonding.
Yeah. Sorry. So
You
this
get
is
to
what
learn
kind of
about each
happened.
other a little bit with their small little tools for their toolbox and how things work, and then that can transpire over into like you guys have a little bit of an argument about something. You can kind of
Yeah.
remember those traits. That she can remember yours, you can remember hers. Maybe you can dissolve your little argument even quicker and better. Sorry, I got all excited for you.
No, it's awesome and it's just funny. Yeah. It's a good time. And it's funny when you play with someone that you love, you will encourage them and love on them regardless of how they do. Like if Kate
Right?
ever hits a shot and she's like, that was a terrible shot, I'm like, honey,
Yeah. I'm not divorcing
forward
you over any shot.
advancement, yeah, forward advancement is forward advancement. We're out here, we're having fun, we are blessed to
Yeah.
be upright. And then, and then it's just we forget how blessed we are all the time.
Amen,
Even
brother.
we could
We
be
all
on a
do. Me
golf
too.
course, standing there with our clubs and our balls and having the freedom and the privilege to be out there playing, and then like it's just not enough because we didn't play well enough. And it's like
Yeah.
we're we're getting serious about a game that actually we don't get prizes for, you know?
Well, no, you're getting prizes. You just got to look for the prizes. Look for them
Yeah.
internally. You're getting the prizes. You're getting tools. You're getting traits. You're getting skills. You're having fun. You're getting sun. you're walking, you're getting fresh air, all these things. These are all gold. These are all gifts. You're winning prizes.
So, in total, golf offers a wide range of mental health benefits, including stress reduction, improved sleep, resilience, cognitive stimulation, and a sense of achievement. So, to anyone who's out there who's wondering about, should I even try? I highly encourage you to try. And if it's not golf, then just get out of your house. If you're like
Yeah.
me and you're
Ride a
sitting
bike.
in your basement and you're hiding, the only time that that changes is when you're ready to get out of the house. Stop
And you're gonna
giving
do
other
it.
people, yeah, stop giving other people power and stop imagining situations that might happen. Just put your head down and say, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to get in my
And
car.
so
I'm
what
going
if some of those situations happen? You'll deal
yeah,
with them.
so what? So what? So
It's
what?
just another sand trap. It's just another water hazard. There's a way to get around it. There's a way to get out of it. There's a way to keep playing.
Exactly.
You got to keep
Exactly.
playing.
Just breathe through it. Another game you could start trying is frisbee golf.
Yeah.
That's something you can get out there and get alone. You can be alone and do. That might be something good to get out there in the woods or kind of in the grass by yourself. Just anything to get you outside. Just do something. Build something. If you want to get in your garage and make a freaking workbench, make a workbench,
Yeah.
like put it
Get into some
together.
woodworking. Getting. Yeah.
Just do something. Get your hands on something, get to moving, get some sunlight on you. You will feel better. And I am saying that as someone who did not want that to be true, who wanted things to be easy, who didn't want to put in any
Well, we
effort.
all do.
And
I mean, that clip just
but
came up
I wanted the
about that.
return.
Yeah. You want?
But
Yeah. We all do. You're normal. You're normal. So are the listeners. They're normal too.
absolutely. And we're all
We all
thinking
go
this
through this
way.
stuff.
We're just the dum dums willing to say it on the.
Yeah, because I don't care what you think about me. How about that?
And what's crazy is the more we talk, the easier it gets, and the more we realize the things that we're saying aren't causing the world to collapse. You know what I mean? We're not hurting anybody by saying kind of like our truth. If it's for somebody, it's for somebody. If it's not, it's not. And if somebody loves what we're listening or what they're hearing, I hope they pass it on, or at least the topic or the point or the sentence or golf in general. Just kind of take a chance on it, do it, you won't die. I promise you. I met a guy recently who had a heart attack on a golf course, and he said it was really funny, but it was like exactly where he wanted to die. But he
Yeah.
didn't. It saved him. So he was like, okay. But he got back into golf, got into the adaptive program. He had to. I think he also had a stroke, so he had to kind of like get through a lot of stuff. But now he can no longer participate in the adaptive program because he is too healthy. Imagine that. Golf got him healthy enough where he can no longer compete in adaptive golf. Sorry, door shut. You got too healthy. You're doing too good. All right, buddy. I love you. And to all the listeners out there, if you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, share, and if you really like what you're hearing, write a review.
Yeah.
Okay, on
Tell us what
YouTube
we're doing right or wrong.
or Spotify. Absolutely. Send us stories of resilience. We got some exciting stuff coming up for you, so stay tuned.
And even if you don't like it, still hit the like and share because somebody else might like it, even if you don't. How about that?
There you go. That could be the good thing you do for the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll help us out. It'll help somebody else out. You'll feel like you're part of the process.
Yeah. You guys have a great week. We love you.
All
We'll
right.
talk to you soon.
All right.
No matter where you're watching the Shit Creek Survivor Show from, please like, comment, subscribe, and more importantly, share wherever possible. And if you're extra generous, please leave a nice review on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. Until next time, have a great week, guys. Love you.